Hello, today I'll be going over a uh, game preview for tomorrow for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I Sam Bradford's out, so I'm assuming we're going to lose this game. I still think it'll be close, but I'm going to talk about the key matchups real quick, then I'll give my prediction score, all that stuff. You know? So I think the first one would be Trey Waynes up against Deshaun Jackson for probably most of the game. Like I know a lot of people have been hard on him, so I think this will be a telltale game of what he could be. If not, we have Tremaine Brock in the fold now, so I would assume him after this game. If Trey Waynes doesn't play that well, Tremaine Brock will probably end up taking that job after this game. I would think, if that's a huge thing. And as for the offense, I I don't think the offensive line played as badly as some people are saying it did. I think a good chunk of it is actually Case Keenum dropping back too far, way too far. And then they can just run around the tackles on the ends and linebackers because if he drops back too far, he's out. He's now been outside the pocket essentially. So that just leaves a straight line to the quarterback essentially. So I think that was more of a product of just not working with the offense that much for the first team offense. So the offensive line couldn't really tell if they wanted to, well, not want to, they couldn't really tell how far he wanted to drop back usually. Now we have a full week under it. Maybe that changes. Hopefully that's better. I don't know how much better that could possibly be, but I would assume it's better. I would not expecting like juggernaut offense, but I am expecting a slightly better outcome. I don't know if we'll win just because Case Keenum is the quarterback. Case Keenum is, we know what he is. He's not that good. He's not that great. Somewhere in the middle, but to where you may have a chance to win games, but you know you don't have a chance to win all the games. Like last week, we kind of knew there was no chance to win once Case Keenum was in the active lineup. So other things to watch as far as key matchups go would probably be Gerald McCoy up against the interior of this line because the interior, specifically the younger parts, because they're going to try to line him up with either one-on-one with Elfline or Nick Easton. And Nick Easton's another one that's kind of had a lot of people grind on him lately. So, and I said in my season preview thing, how long would it take for Danny Isidora to really push for that job? I don't know if he's pushing quite yet, but I think it is coming to that point because it's not looking good. And Mike Remmers is another guy people are kind of pounding in. So we're not going to see Rashad Hill. There's too much pride in the fact that they paid him all that money. He's going to be the right tackle as long as he's healthy. The only time we see him maybe flip inside to guard is probably next year. So that's the earliest we see him not at right tackle, I think. So anyone getting their hopes up for Rashad Hill playing right tackle this year should probably give that up. He's nothing that's gonna. There's just too much pride, way too much pride in the fact that they paid Mike Rivers. So then that brings us like basically with this game, it's going to be all about the line and Keenum and possibly Sam Bradford with the. I know there was a report last week saying Teddy's coming back. I'm going to have a whole video on that eventually, probably within the coming days. Uh, I'll probably upload that pretty soon after the entire game recap that I do for this game. But it this game doesn't have quite the feel it would if Sam Bradford was playing, but I do still think it'll be competitive because Case Keenum is not necessarily shy when it comes to taking shots down the field. He's just not necessarily the most accurate of passers, to put it lightly. He just needs to have a little bit more confidence in him. Like maybe working with the first team will help him a lot. Obviously, having Diggs and Thielen out there is pretty great, and along with Rudolph, those are all, when on the field, those are three very reliable targets. So the main thing we need to get going though to help him out, Dalvin Cook. We need to get him going in the first half because in the first half he doesn't get much, and then the second half he explodes. So with Dalvin actually getting yards, maybe that's something that can really improve the offense. Perhaps maybe we can do some play action, bootlegs, things like that of that nature. Kind of turns it back to the defense. Hopefully they bite. And so I would really expect us to start using Latavius Murray more as long as Sam Bradford's out, because Latavius is kind of more of an in-between the tackles guy, and obviously Dalvin, a lot of his success has come off running to the outside. Specifically that right side. That right side has been his friend throughout this entire thing. Throughout the first 2 games, Dalvin Cook's all of his runs that have been going for decent to big gains, all on the right outside. So I would anticipate us to actually continue with those outside zones, and then we get McKinnon and Latavius involved as well in the run game just to help Case Keenum out. There's really not too much to talk about with this game, if I'm honest with you, but I am going to take the Buccaneers in this game just because I don't trust Case Keenum. I don't trust him at all. And in order to win, Case Keenum needs to, 1, not turn the ball over. He can't turn the ball over, and probably have anywhere between 6 to 8 yards per attempt in terms of just the Keenum factors. We need to have that in order to actually win the game, because we need to be pushing the ball downfield. We need to get first downs and sustain drives, because otherwise the defense is just out there too much and they wear down. It's not a good thing, and you don't want Jameis Winston with all the toys he now has in Deshaun Jackson, Mike Evans, O.J. Howard, Cameron Brate is there. You've got Jacquizz Rodgers. He is not necessarily a household name at all, but he is a decent tailback. Doug Martin is suspended, so yeah, you have Jacquizz Rodgers back there, and obviously those receivers. So we're gonna have to line up with those. I think Trey Waynes is probably gonna try to line up with Deshaun Jackson. You have, I would assume they're gonna try to line Eric Kendricks up with one of those tight ends, and I don't know if they're going to attempt to do it with Barr as well or Harrison Smith, but I assume one of those two will try to line up with the other tight end if they're continuously throwing out of those 2 tight end packages, because otherwise we don't really have that many people who can run with them who have the size and the power. It really comes down to those 2 linebackers and Harrison Smith, because Sendejo can't really do it. So that leaves us with very few options. Then, like I said, on the offensive side, it's pretty much the offensive line in Case Keenum, because the offensive line needs to be able to block Gerald McCoy, and Chris Baker is out. Their other defensive tackle, Jacquizz Smith, is out, so we're probably talking maybe Noah Spence may be a factor in this game, trying to line him up with Mike Remmers, as we know he struggles mightily with the speed rushers coming around the edge. So I imagine we'll see quite a bit of Noah Spence, who's a great athlete on the outside, against Remmers on that right side. And I'm going to say that we need to, 1, probably chip him, because we need to make sure that Mike Remmers is not being ran around all day, because we cannot have that. If we have that, obviously Case Keenum's hit a lot. We get a lot of the offense won't be able to recover itself from negative yardage plays. So we need to be able to fix that, obviously. But yeah, it's going to be a rough game. I think it's going to be kind of I'm going to go low scoring, actually. I'm going to say this is going to be a low scoring affair, because barring penalties, like we saw in Pittsburgh, I think this is going to be a low scoring thing. So I'm going to say 20-17 in favor of Tampa Bay, unless Case Keenum pulls off some magic that we have yet seen. But till then, till the recap video, I will say farewell.